Generally, conflict can be defined as the disagreement or differences of opinions between or among individuals that can be potentially harmful to any organization. However, according to Martin Dodge, he defined conflict as an occurrence whenever incompatible activities occur. An action that is incompatible with the other action prevents, obstructs, interferes, injures, or in some way makes the latter less likely or less effective. There have several types of war, such as global war, total war, civil war, and guerrilla war. This is where, due to the conflict between two or more parties, it will trigger to the war. For example, the issues of total war is military conflict, in which nations mobilize all available resources to destroy another nation's ability to engage in war. It is same with the line of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Israel-Palestine conflict with a significant focus on the land and identity disputes. This conflict revolves around competing national aspirations and clashing historical narrative, with both sides claiming the same land. This is where Jewish immigrate to the Palestine that's supported by Balfour Declaration 1917, which endorsed the establishment of national home of the Jewish people in the Palestine. Due to this, it led to the clashes between Palestine's population. In 1947, United Nations planned to separate Palestine and the Jewish population and Jerusalem as the capital. This shown that Jewish leaders was agree with the plan, while Arab leaders disagree and rejected it. Because of that, in 1948, it led to the war between Arab Israel. In 1967, the conflict still continued, and many peace efforts to settle up this conflict, such as Oslo Accords 1990, where they faced many challenges, particularly regarding issues of Israel settlements in occupied territories, the status of Jerusalem, and the right of the return for Palestine refuge.
Assalamualaikum, my name is NOOR FATIHAH binti Ahmad FAUZI. I'll be continuing with historical context, Palestine and Israel. The Israel-Palestine conflict, deeply entrenched in historical, religious and territorial dispute, traces back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries with the emergence of Jewish nationalism and increased Jewish immigration to Palestine under British control. Despite efforts such as the United Nations 1947 Partition Plan, which aimed to establish separate Jewish and Arab states, tension escalated, leading to the 1948 Arab-Israel War. This conflict, also known as the War of Independence or Nakba, resulted in significant demographic changes, with hundreds of thousands of Palestinian Arab flee and or being expelled from their home. Creating the Palestinian refugee crisis, the war ended in 1949 with armistice agreement but without formal peace treaties, shaping the Middle East geopolitical landscape for decades. The issue of Palestinian refugee and displacement remain complex and unresolved, with millions still living in refugee camps in various countries. The United Nations Relief and World Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East was established to provide assistance, yet the situation persists due to subsequent conflict and political tension. Efforts to address the issue, including right of return, compensation and a lasting resolution to the conflict, have been central to peace negotiations. However, achieving a comprehensive and mutually acceptable resolution remains challenging. perpetuating tension and instability in the regions. Now I will pass to the next member.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is NOOR binti HAZAR. Today I want to talk about the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine, especially the fights between Gaza and Israel from 2008 to 2022. This conflict has been happening for a long time and has caused a lot of pain for both sides. Both Israelis and Palestinians have suffered a lot over the years with lots of fighting, disagreements and problems with basic needs like food and healthcare. To understand what's happening now, we need to look back at the important events that have shaped this conflict. In 2008, Israel started Operation Castle because of rockets being fired from Gaza, which led to many people getting hurt, including innocent civilians. Other military actions like Operation Pillar of Defense in 2012 and Operation Protective Edge in 2014 made things worse, causing a lot of damage and suffering. Things got really bad in May 2021 when Palestinians in Jerusalem were forced out of their homes, leading to protests and fights that spread to Gaza, resulting in more violence between Israel and Hamas. In 2022, there were more attacks and airstrikes, causing even more harm and destruction. Throughout this year, there have been a lot of fights, military actions, and ongoing problems like disagreements over land and safety that haven't been solved. The international community is working to find a peaceful solution through talking, negotiating, and following the rules of law. It's important to make sure that they are safe and have their rights respected as we aim for lasting peace in the region. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks to the previous presenter, my name Amira. I will continue the presentation. So basically this slide is about the 1948 Arab-Israel War, also known as Israeli-Arab War of Independence, which was a crucial conflict that happened after the United Nations divided Palestine in 1947. The reason for this conflict go back to the 80s and also the early 90s, where the Jewish and the Arab groups wanted to control over the land. After the World War I, the League of Nations gave Britain control over the Palestine, leading to more people, Jewish people moving to the Arab opposition. In 1947, the United Nations suggested splitting Palestine into two Jewish and Arab areas. So basically, the Jewish leaders agree, but the Arab leaders say no. So on May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion says that Israel was a country, which made nearby the countries start fighting. So this war was a big deal in the Middle East and was connected to the time when the Britain ruled Palestine from 1920 to 1948. Britain had a hard time keeping peace among Muslim, Jews and also Christian. More Jewish people coming from Europe made things tense with Palestinian Arab, especially after the Arab Revolt on 1936 and 1939. And the Britain supporting Jews. So when the United Nations say in 1947 that Palestine should be split into Jewish and Arab parts, Jewish leaders agree but Arab leaders didn't, which led to the conflict. That's all from the slide. Moving on to the next presenter. Thank you.
The Oslo Accords of 1993 aimed to establish a framework for peace negotiations on a pathway towards a two-state solution in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This is where a series of agreements signed between Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization (PLO) with the goal of resolving the long-standing conflict between the two parties. They recognize the PLO as the representative of Palestinians and lead to the creation of the Palestinian Authority. The involvement of national actors, particularly United States, highlighted global commitment to peace. This marked a significant diplomatic breakthrough in the conflict, offering hope for resolution through negotiations.
my name is ZALIKHA binti Ismail. Thank you to my friends for presenting. Next, I will present regarding the Gaza disengagement of 2005 as part of major conflict between Israel and Palestine conflict in context of history. The main reason for this disengagement is that Israeli wants to retain their identity as a Jewish. This marked by the first time by the Israel Prime Minister, which is Ariel Sharon, that unilaterally withdrew both its military forces and civilian settlement from the Palestinian territory, specifically in the Gaza Strip. In August 2005, almost 21 settlements in Gaza Strip and 4 small settlements in northern West Bank has been evacuated. However, some of the settlers refused to leave and being settled by September 2005. The Israeli Defense Forces dismantled military installation and handed over control to Palestinian Authority. Even though this disengagement happened, it becomes the turning point for the Israel's right in having the authority for the future. Lastly, the Israeli also were unable to manage a large number of Palestinian populations during that time, as the Palestinian populations consist of 1.3 million compared to the Israel citizens, which consist of 8,000 people only, which made this plan for the disengagement happen.
In conclusion, the Israel-Palestine conflict characterized by disputes over land, safety, and Jerusalem's significance remains a significant obstacle to peace in the region. Addressing these issues requires collaborative dialogues, compromise, and mutual respect between Israel and Palestinians, with support from the international community. Only through consent, effort can lasting solution be achieved, ensuring a future of peaceful harmony and prosperity for all involved. That's all from me and my teams. Thank you.